This class is just for newbies so that they can start programming and they can create their own, like generate their own interest in the programming. So today we are going to start on the Dart programming. In the last session I had given you an overview about computers, how programming works, right? So if you are having any doubt on the last lecture, you can ask me right now, or we will start in like couple of minutes. So how was the assignment? Do you feel it is like tough for you, or it was cakewalk, right? What was the problem in those? Okay. Objective for today is that I will teach you about the Dart programming. Last assignment that I gave is for like how much you already know about the Dart programming and how you will go about it if I give you some problem, right? So it was not about any evaluation on your front, but it was more about how much mind of yours you can use without not knowing much, right? So I see couple of you already know how to program, and then for other people who have might not have completed this assignment, looks like they don't know anything at that moment, but yeah, after today's session they will be able to write it properly. Okay, so you don't need to worry about if you couldn't control your assignment. You will surely after today's lecture you should be able to complete it. There is nothing that you should be worry about right now, because I will be telling you what I will be covering today. So in a typical in a language, like what all things will be there. So once you go through the today's lecture, you will know this is not only related to Dart, but any programming you do, you can be using say Java, you can be using Kotlin, or you can be using Python. Almost all the languages will have the same kind of things, same kind of elements. Okay, so we'll go it on slowly. I will show you. So I hope everybody has set up their own Android Studio, or what you call Visual Studio Code, right? VS Code, right? So I would suggest, like, if you can open your this thing and maybe create a new file, like here, say I will be creating a new Dart file. I will say maybe like test, and then you will be getting a empty file, right? We can start like this from here. Application will have your main method in that, and in that you can write say print say hello dear. Some people like hello world, I prefer to write hello dear, and if I don't write anything else also and I say run, okay, this is running something else. So from here I can do right click and I can go to run. Here you can see it, right? If font is too small, you can tell me, I will increase the font. Is it too small? So I am using Mac. You might have different options to increase font on your local system. So maybe it will be like font general. Do we see any font here? Or maybe in code editing. This is the font. So maybe is this okay now? Readable? Should I increase more? Okay. So you, as you have already completed the assignment, you know what a main method is, right? You can explain me what do you understand by writing this main method? Anybody can explain? So, any program you will write will have this main method. Main is the entry point for any program in any language. Okay. Similarly, if you are running an application on say Android as well, right, then also there is a main method which is not visible to the developer. Android itself uses this main method and then launch the application. Okay. So, without main method you can't run your application. So, somebody will hide it somewhere in some other class, some library, some framework, but end of the day they have to call this main method. Okay. So, any programming language will have certain elements. Okay. One of them is the comment, like for example, in this method or say in this program, I want to tell human being, not the computer, that okay, this is the main method. So, I can write like this, this is the main method. So, this who can see this? Only human beings can see this, computer will not see this while running it. Okay. You can do like this or you can do like multi-line comments. I do not know whether this works in Dart or not. Let us see if I run it, and if it does not use this, means it is working. So, if you have to comment multiple lines, then you will have to use slash star, then line, then ending with star slash. Okay. If you want to do comment for the one single line, you will use double slash. Did you get it? Now, if I say ki something is there or something is not there. So, there are only two conditions, is there or it is not there. Other example, say I say there is a name, my keyboard, okay, string name equal to, say I will pick one of your name, say me any name that you want to use it here, THEENGI, okay, the engineering manager. Okay. So, this we have written as a string. Okay. Now, if I want to say whether this string is empty or not. Okay. So, how can I say? So, this string that I have written here, is it a data type? You call it as a data type. It is a string. What is a string? A string is a collection of characters. Okay. Now, if I say how many characters are there in this, so I think I can use print name dot length. It will tell me how many individual characters are here. Like 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So, it should print 21 if I am not wrong. If I run it, it will print 21. You can see it on the here, right? Yeah. Now, if I say here, I wanted to check if this name I am taking from a user. Okay. I am not putting it here, I am saying please enter your username, and he is putting this name or he is just pressing the enter key. So, what is the first thing you will have to do? You will have to check whether this name is empty or not, right. So, I will say name dot length is equal to 0. Okay. Now, I can say condition equal to, you got it. So, I can convert it to like again name equal to like this, and okay. So, So, we have assigned a value. On the left side you say this is a variable. So, every language will have certain kind of variable, and what is a variable? Variable, by looking at this name itself, it says variable means its value will keep on changing. Okay. So, currently we have assigned a value of the engineering manager. So, now if I am printing this name here, let me print it, print name. So, what it will print? It will print whatever is the value right now. Okay. Now, what I am doing? I am removing everything and I am saying empty. This is like empty, right? Now, name is become empty, or I say I can just simply say empty here, because when I am starting the program I do not know what is the name and I want to take this name from the somewhere, okay, from some file or some user will be entering this. Okay. So, name is empty. Now, if name is empty and we say we want to say hello name, whatever you say. So, if name is empty, we will be saying we can't say the name, right. So, how can we check whether it is empty or not? We can use its length, length is empty or not. Length is 0, it means empty. Now, if I put a condition here, if condition is true, right, like this you can, then we will say print name is empty. Okay. Else we will say hello and whatever the name is there, we will say hello. And to print a string or any variable in the Dart, how do you use? Either you print it directly like this, but when you are inside these quotations, right, these are quotes, you have to write like this, like this also you can write, I guess. Here you will write name, no, maybe directly direct dollar name, and this you have to write. We will try it. So, currently name is empty. So, here empty will be printed and this length is 0 because there is no character in this, right. So, this condition will become true. We are checking whether it is true. If condition is true, means it is an empty name, it will say name is empty, else we will say hello and the name. We will remove this. Now, it is clear what we are writing. So, we will clear this also, so that it will be easy to read. Now, I am just running it and you say it is printing name is empty. Why? Because length is 0 and this condition is true. I will tell you what is the condition and other stuff. And if you are having only one line after the condition, you do not need to put these braces. Okay. But if you are having multi-line conditions or multi-line things after condition, you may want to put the curly braces. Now, what if I remove, I put a name here. Now, there is a name, there is a value in the name, right. So, which condition will get printed? This condition will become false, right, because length is not 0. We will print hello and the whatever value is inside the name. So, it print like this, and from this line it is printing this one. So, this is clear now. Okay. Here, yeah, tell me, any doubt? Now, you do, yeah. Correct. Yes, I am coming to that. Okay. So, this is the name variable that we created, and what is the type of it? On the left side you write type. So, name is a variable, its type is of string. You got it? Okay. Now, here if you see the condition, what is the type of it? Here on the left side, variable. So, we have not given any type to this condition. Okay. Now, you think this is a condition, what kind of value this condition can have? Say this name can have any value, right? You can put any value here, but this is the condition, okay, whether this is equal to this or it is not equal to. So, how many values can condition have? 2. One is either true or it is false. You got it? Yeah. So, now instead of var, I can use another variable type here. So, because this is having only 2 values, this Dart is recognizing it automatically. Here also, if I do not write a string and I say var, okay, it will work. How it will work? I will just, you can see, put your pointer to name and it will tell you what type of it is. It is guessing. It is guessing it as a string. You can see type is string, whether we have not written here. Okay. And why to write the type? For our readability. Now, I will tell you one more thing. In the Dart, it is a very strict language. If I am giving a name as a string and I want to change it to say number, okay, it will not take it. Although I have not tell it that name is a string, but it knows because it got a value from the right side. I have some value and that value is a string. So, I take only string. I will not take integer. If you write like this and then you will be confused ki why name is, I am not able to put a value to name as a 2. So, what is the better use? You say it is a string. Now, you know string name will take only string. So, if I say this is my name and it will take it happily. You understood now? Now, I will tell you about this condition. We will come back here. So, this condition is having only 2 values. When there are variables which can have only 2 values, we call them Boolean. I think a small b or only simple bool. Okay. So, this is bool and this will work as it is. Okay. Now, whenever you are using a if condition will always require a condition that can result in either true or in false. Okay. I can write another condition here, say 1 equal to 1. Is this true? 1 is equal to 1. So, which one will print? Which it will print which one? This or this? Yes. And if I say 1 is equal to 2, then yeah. So, this you need to understand it clearly, everybody need to understand. If anybody is having doubt here, can ask me. No doubt? We will move forward. Okay. So, now I have written this big line here and I am using this condition. Why I am doing this? So, that you can use it for debugging purpose or any other purpose. Otherwise, what I can do? I can comment this line and for not this only one line, and in this I can write that same thing, name dot length is equal to 0 means it is empty, right. This also I can do. Okay. I think in Dart or some other language one more method is there. I can use name is empty, okay, then it will be empty and I can run it. Is it empty? No, it will say hello, this one. Now, if you see what is the is empty, it is of type, here I can show on this bool. From where it is coming? It is coming from the string class. So, you can go to any method that you are declaring here and go inside that. For example, what is a string? If you want to go, you click on a string, and a string is a class that this code I have not written. This is coming from the Dart SDK. Okay. So, if you do not understand anything, you just say control and click on that particular thing. For example, print. So, I click on print, and print says it is a string representation of the object. You can read all about this thing. So, now you understand two things, string and bool. Will you forget it? You will remember it, right, always. This is a basic foundation. Now, I will tell you about third thing actually. So, this you got it. What else you think this thing Dart can have? So, you use the mathematics, right? So, there are numbers. You can have an int number, say a equal to 10. What this means? A is a integer which is having value 10. Okay. So, what is an integer? Integer is a value which is having complete values. I will say which will not have a decimal point. You might have read about mathematics, right? In that you have decimal points. So, if number is not having decimal point, you will use them as an integer. Second thing is that float. So, float is like say 10.5. Okay. Why it is telling like this? It is not having float. So, double is there, float is not there in this, you have double. So, double is bigger than the float. In computers there are two kind of values, float and double. So, double is double of float, not the double of integer. So, whenever you want to use a decimal values, you will use double. You got it? So, for example, in the string name equal to say A, B, C, D, and when I say name dot length, so what it is returning? Int length. And so, everywhere we are using integer for where it is the complete. Now, if I say my total marks, say and my total marks in exams are say 400, but how many marks I got in the exam? Marks I got is say 300. So, how many percentage I got? So, I will say double percentage equal to 300 by 400 into 100. This is how you calculate the percentage, and you can say print my percentage is, and this is same we printed like this percentage, and you can run this program. How much it will be if you know the mathematics? No idea. 3 by 4 is 75. So, it prints 75.0. What if instead of 3 I have like I got 350? Okay. Then I can see 87.5%. I can write percent also here, so it will look better, right? Now, you understood where do you use the double? Whenever you need decimal numbers. Okay. So, I will write it here. uh, data type in Dart. First one we check is string, second we check is bool, then we check integer, then double, right? Okay. Now say I have some variable, say this thing int maximum marks, and I say 100. So, in a paper you can get maximum marks of 100. Okay. And this is some kind of rule that only say government is changing over period of time, right? So, now you think this can a user change this value? Right. So, if you are writing a software like that where it will be changed over after we rebuild the application, because we have to change this and rebuild the whole system. But in this, what is happening, if this is my code, I can go and change it to say 10, right? Then if I get only 10 marks, I will say I got 100%, right? But what if government is defining this? So, government should not allow us to change this, right? So, we can say here as a const. So, if you are putting a const, it means it is a constant. Constant means it is a fixed. Now, you cannot change it. As soon as you write it here, you cannot modify it here. You understood now? If I run it, it will give me an error because it is a constant. So, I can, and if I defined a normal variable here, say int x is equal to 100, then I can change x to 50 or 10. So, it is not giving me an error. Okay. Now, this you got about const. Const you can put as a string also. Okay. Say const string my name. Can your name be changed? So, my name is Pradeep. Can this my name be changed? If I change it, I have to change in each and every document, right? That's a long process. But once I change, it will be again called as a constant only, because I can't change. So, if I change my name here, so say Alan, it will say you can't change your name. Okay. So, this is the thing that we have to keep in mind when we want to define a constant. We will use const keyword. Whatever you are seeing on the left side is keyword, and your ID will show it in a different color. You say main is a keyword and it is a function name in the Dart. So, it is like this, and these are the keywords which only Dart compiler knows it. Okay. Now, in Dart there is a new thing like a string and say name. I say my name is currently not defined. So, I can say it is a null, but it is not taking my value as a null because it is a string, right? A string is expecting a string. This is little complicated for you right now, but say I do not want to give a name. If you are writing a empty, right, like this is still a character, like name is empty. We can find out here if name is empty, this condition we can check. But what if my name is not defined at all and I wanted to say null? Null means nothing. Empty means it is still there, but it is not having value. So, I think we can define by putting a question mark here, like variable is there, but it may not be there, this question mark. And how do I check now? This is empty. I will say name. If name is there, I will put a question mark here. Then I can say is empty. No, it does not work in this. So, how will I check here? So, I will say name is empty like this, and say where x equal to this. Now, this x will have a value only when name is available. If name is not available, it will be always false. But what is the use of this, you will ask. Sometime when you are creating the form or somewhere, right, and people can press the this as a input value, but when you are giving these values to other method and they don't recognize, then your application will crash. So, when Dart started in beginning, they were not having that question mark thing. So, things can be null like this, and when you call a method like name dot is empty, and if name is null, this will crash, because here we are saying it is a string and string is having is empty variable. But if name is null, we are saying name is nothing, and if you are having nothing, you cannot use is empty on nothing, it will crash your application. So, in the recent version of Dart, they introduce this, and it is called null safety. So, if you are reading about Flutter for some time, there you will find two variant of Flutter with null safety and without null safety. So, what is the null safety is that your variables can be null, and if variable is null, you will use question mark and then you can call this method. This is a little complicated for right now, but once you progress, you will find the usefulness of this. Okay. So, this is called nullable. Okay. This you will use only when you are actually doing real coding on big projects. Okay. So, whatever assignment was given, that was supposed to use only say these things only. Okay. Now, I will show you how to take this name. Okay. Whenever you say this is only one file like a test.dart, sometime you will see we use something that is inbuilt. For example, this main was inbuilt, or I am using a print method, and this is also a inbuilt. Inbuilt means we are not creating it, it is already part of Dart. Okay. But you can write your own thing that can become part of Dart, and you can put it into different file, that I will show you later on, but that is how we create the package. Here there is a concept of package. For example, print is inside it, but if you remember the last time I told you there are three kind of thing. One is like input, other one is output, and one is processing that we do, right. In computer these three things are there: input, output and processing. So, this print is kind of output, that is outputting to console. This what we are running here is console, right. If you want to output on a display, then you might need to use a different method. Now, if I write like this name 1 and I copy like 3 times, 2 and 3, and if I run it simply, what it is printing? Name 1, 2 and 3, right. But what if I want to print name 1 space name 2 space name 3, but I want to write it like this. So, there is a package in this that will say std out. As soon as I say std out, it will a small std out, and here it will import automatically dart.io. So, Dart is a package name, in that we want to use input and output. Okay. So, I say std out, and what do I want to do in the output is that I will say write what I want to write, name 1. Okay. And I will copy paste this 3 times. I will say 2, 3, and I simply run it. So, you see these are coming one after another, not in the new line. You understood this now? I should have put a space here so that you can see. So, where you will use this? Normally, if you are writing an application for desktop, then this will be useful. It will not work on the mobile phone. It will work on the mobile phone, but you can't see it directly on the screen because it is running in the console. Now, another example, I want to print number 1 to 10. Okay. I will explain this loop if you are not getting it later on, and I say print I. You might have done this loop in your exercise. I think it's printing like this, right? So, if I change this to std out dot write, std out dot write, this file has gone. So, that was the problem. Dot io. So, you have to keep in mind, if you find any error, you have to go up and check, and if I run it, it will print it one by one. You understood now this one? Clear? Okay. So, I gave you a program to write a table of multiplication, right? Some people have written it, some people have not written it. So, if I run the 2 loop here, both can't have I. So, I will create I and j, and both are 1 to 10, and here I print like std out dot write I into j, and after this I want to print std out dot write and a space here. Once I complete the one loop, I want to write print, I want to go to next line. So, I will say don't print anything, print just the next line, and if I run this, you see this is table of 1, table of 2, 3, 4 up to 10, or you can go like this also. So, this is very easy to do manipulation of the screen, right? Yeah, you knew how to use a string or any array or any other thing. So, that we will cover it later on, but this is the basic thing you need to understand. Okay. No, there is a very valid reason on the dart pad. Say this, what it is doing, it is doing a IO. IO is input output. So, it is not only having this std out, it will have many other methods as well. Okay. So, this is interacting with your console, and when you write a code like this, and if you are not having any way to handle this in a secure manner, we can hack your system. Okay. For security reason, they have not allowed you to import this dart.io. Some they you can find other website where they will be allowing it, and they will have some different measurement for security. So, I will suggest you to install local dart in your PC and then use it. So, this is for the input. Now, I will tell you little more about this. Say I just want to write a table for say 10. So, we can convert this into method also, that we will cover later on I wanted to show you something more on this front. Wait, what I want to cover. Okay, so this is what we call as a output. Now think of something as an input. I want to read a name from you. Okay, so string name, this I want to read from you. So this was what we use as a std output. We will need a std in, std, this is out here, std in this we will have this method. Okay, what it will do, it will saying, okay, this is error, it is coming because it is saying I am not using this name. So I will say print enter your name. I will read this and I will say print hello name. Okay, we will see it if it works. It work? No, it is saying some error. A value of a string can't be assigned to variable of a string. Okay, it is saying like this, I have to read like this. Okay, and here I can put if. So if I run it now, you see enter your name, I can enter here and press the enter, it will say my name. This is the input now you got. Okay, now if we say we copy paste this line and we'll be doing something interesting part of it, and we'll say here enter number for table. Okay, and here I not sure, and number we can take okay, read line sync. You can see here it is saying it can return only string. So I will be taking as a string, this will be str and this is coming like this, and from str to there are different method. So there will be int dot, not this, int dot pass, yes, and I will can pass str into this. You see it's taking a resource and it can take a radix. So currently I am doing this only, so let me first do like this, and this we can do if str is not equal to null, and then only we will execute our code. If you can do like this also. Okay, instead of I will say value. While looking at this code, can you tell me what it will be doing? Any guess? So here what we were doing, we are running two loops, first loop, second loop. From first loop we were taking the value and multiplying by the second value and then printing it. Now this loop is not there, we are taking a value directly from the user and we are calculating its table value and printing it here, that's all, and we will be doing it for 10 times. So if I run it now and I say table, I say 5, it should print table of 5. So see, you understood now? So this is how you can use input. I can write table for say 34 and it will print. So, logic is same, only numbers are changing. Okay. Hmm. str is string. From string you want to convert string to integer. So, we called a parse method of integer. So, internally it will convert string to integer. If you are passing, say, if I run it and instead of passing a number I pass say a b c d. Okay. Now, this code will not work. Why? Because str is abcd, this condition is true, it is not null. It will say in the pass abcd is passed, it will create a problem because it is not a number. I will show you here. See, your application got crashed. It is saying invalid radix 10 number. So, this is how our application get crashed when we are giving a wrong input. This is an example of wrong input. We are asking for a number and user is giving us a string. Yeah. So, in Dart I could not find it directly, but there may be a method. In other language it is there, but in Dart I couldn't find like this read byte sync. You can read the bytes also. So, byte by byte we can read it, but then we will have to convert these bytes into integer. That will be another story then. So, this is the simplest method that I am showing here. So, internally anything is byte only. For example, you want to write a video player, what will be input for you? You will be taking a MP4 file as a input. That MP4 file you will read it byte by byte. You can't read it as a string. That is a very big example I gave you. Simple example like maybe image or something else, that will be byte by. Even integer, when we talk about integer is made up of 4 bytes. So, the total is of 32 bits. So, for just programming purpose you can just remember you have to parse it, right. For converting integer to string it is very simple. You can just put it into quotes and say like this, and this will be like this. I think it works like this, right. So, this is converting integer into string. You can put a string here, but to do a reverse you have to use parse. Got it? Any doubt in this? So, now you know how to take the input from the user. Yeah. Huh. Yeah. Yeah, this is related to this thing. Null safety, when you enable, you use this question mark. If null safety is disabled, you can remove this question mark, and then this thing can return you null. If it is returning null and you are doing this condition, right, if this one, then your code is safe. But if you are putting a question mark here, then I think you can directly do something like this, that I am not aware in this whether how to check null safety. It will make sure that it is not how do we call it. I think there is some method that I don't know right now. So, this question mark is for that only, that this str may be null, but there is a way to check it. Okay. So, if null safety is there, then it will if it is coming null, or if you are don't having question mark, it will give you error at the compile time itself, so that your code will not crash at the runtime. That is called null safety. In this, my Dart is already having a null safety feature enabled. That is the reason I have to use this question mark. Okay. So, now we have covered reading, writing, and this std in std out is like, I will show you something from here. Here in this, you can run your code from command line also. I have two files, test.dart and name.dart. I say Dart is the compiler name and say test.dart, and it will run from here also, right. I can enter this number from, I think, here also. This 10 I am giving, okay, I am telling you something which you may not be useful for you right now, but later may be useful. I will say create a new file. I will say echo 20 into input. So, I am creating a file called input. In that, I have entered 20. Now, I am giving that file as a input to this, and I did not enter the number 20. It took it from the file and it is using that number. You got it? Yeah. So, this also you can do, but this is not useful at this moment. Later on, it will be useful when you are doing some automation or some scripting. Okay. So, now you know about the data types, comments, booleans, numbers, string, const variable, nullables, right. Now, we will go into next level now from here, and there is something called collections. So, what if I have like the data like this, in which I have say Ram, Syam, right, Geeta, Sita. Okay. I have many names. I wanted to store all the names into one variable. I can have like 4 string, but what if I don't know how many names may be there? Okay. And all are my student. So, I wanted to name them as a student. So, we can create like this, and what it will be? It is like a list. Okay. So, I can define them as a list. So, list is another data type, or you can say collection type, which can hold multiple values. So, this is list of strings. I can have list of say table, and in this I can write number like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18 and 20. This is table of 2. I can hold this whole table into one variable. So, these are the list. This is list of integer, this is list of string. So, while declaring this, it is inheriting this from the right side value, that it can hold string, and this is inheriting from right side that it can hold integer. But what if I want to say I do not have these values right now, I want to insert it later. So, I will create a list of string, say names equal to list like this. You can create a variable, and I think you have to say new, and what it is saying, okay, it is not being used, that is why it is showing the error. And I will say, I will run the for loop. Here I will say the same code I should be using, I deleted it. Say string input str, and then std in dot read this one, and then if you don't understand, let me know. Okay. Input string is not equal to null. What I will be doing, I will be converting it to value. So, I will count of students and then int dot pass input str, and then I will run a loop where I say int I equal to 0 to I is less than count of student and I plus plus, and I will be reading it again and I will be putting it into say string name equal to stdin dot read sync, and if name is not equal to null, we will be adding this into our names. Add name, and if I have done with my logic, I will just want to print names. I will explain you this thing. So, I am creating a empty list of names in which I wanted to add multiple names. Now, I asked a user to enter how many names you want to read. So, it will be giving me a number. I convert that number string into a number like count of student. I am running this loop so that I can ask so many times the student name. If user is entering the name, I am just adding it into my names and then I will be printing it. Now, why this error is coming? Okay, it is saying we have to use this and we don't need to use this, and no, this is all constructor related thing. What it is saying now, it is saying name, how many name you might need. I think no, this red line you are only talking, right? Which line? 20? 28 is nothing is there. Okay, this is saying give me, I am creating a names variable which is having a empty list. So, maybe I think I can do something like this. Yeah, this is empty and we will try to run, but how will I know what I am asking? One minute. Line number 20, yeah, it is taking the input. I am asking enter count of students, whatever user will enter, that will be count of students. Okay. Then I will be running this loop to count, not count, to enter the name of the student, name of student, and maybe here I can write like this so that it can tell me number, which student number, and we will run it and then see. Enter count of student, I will say 5, enter name, I will say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, it accepted all the names and it created a list for me for the names, right? Understood? Line 18 is I am creating a placeholder where I will be storing all the names which is coming as a input. Okay. So, this is how you create the name, and why you will create a name, because name means like why you will create a list. So, list you will need when you are having many values like this, and then say I want to sort this out by ascending order. Say in this who should come first, maybe I think this is the first name that should be coming. So, I can apply a method of sorting on this, and then I can use it directly, like who is the first alphabetically or who is the last alphabetically. So, last will be, I think this guy will be the last. Similarly, in this I have full table in one variable. If I print the table, it will print here, it will ask me full thing again. So, I will just comment it, and then we can just print the table here, say print table. So, in the previous example, we could have created this table and added all the values into this, and then while at the end we can print, and it will print all the table in one line only, right. So, it holds all the values. So, for this you can do, and now you can access them one by one also. It start from 0, this is at 0 value 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, on the fifth value you are having 12. So, if I say table of fifth, so what it should be printing is 12, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you see it is 12. For this it will be 9th. You count it, it should be 10th, but its index will be 9, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It will print 20. Now, what if I put it here like 10? What will happen? You are having 0 to 9 value, you are asking for 10th value, that does not exist. So, your application will crash. See, okay. Now, you got this point, this is very important. You are having 0 to 9 values, you are asking for 10th value, that does not exist. So, your application will crash. Now, one more, yeah. Yes, it is a one dimensional array, but it is a growable array. You can add a number to this. I say table dot add, and in this I can put another value, say 30. Okay. And now it will have a 10th value and it will print 30. See. So, it is a dynamic array, what you might have read about static arrays. Okay. So, I think you can delete also. So, table dot remove should be there, yeah, remove at, I will remove at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So, what it will remove? It will remove this, okay. I will put it number here so that you can remember it. This is 0, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, this is 9. So, which number I am removing? 4. 4 number is this 10. So, table will have, apart from 10, every other number should be there. You see, 10 is not there. You got it? So, this is printing your full table. What if I want to print them one by one? So, one way is that you run a for loop for 0 to I is less than table dot length and I plus plus, and you can say print table of I. It will print in vertical order because print will print the new line every time you print a value. So, you can see this, it is printing like this, and this line is printing horizontally. Why? Because what this line is doing internally, it is taking this list, converting it into a string, then printing it. That is why you can see these brackets in the beginning and at the end. You got it? Okay. So this was the list that call as a, like you can call it as a collection which stores list multiple items. Now in this problem is that I can repeat the numbers. I can say 1 1 1 1 like this. Okay, still it will have all the values. Here you see all the values, all are 1 1 1. What if I want to have unique numbers? Okay. So, to have a unique number, I need to use set. Okay. Set will tell this is saying list. So, let me create. So, set of int, I will say this is my set, and I think we can create new set if I am not wrong. Yeah, and we can put set add, I will say 1 like this. You can print like this also, loop. I am not going through that now. I say 1 2 3 4 and I print here, print my set. I will tell you the difference. So, it will print 1 2 3 4, but if I say add set dot add 1 multiple time, okay, I added 1 4 times, still it will have 1 only once. So, set you use where you need a unique values in a group. You got it? List can have duplicates, set will not have duplicates. Okay. So, now you got the collection as well. There are different collection like queue, map, enumeration, but that you can learn once you practice on this thing. Now, how much time we got? Yeah, we have half an hour more. I will tell you about the flow control. We will read about flow control. What is flow control? I have already shown you if condition, right? So, if some condition is true, then do something, or else you do something. So, this is flow. So, you can write like this, a string name equal to say Ram, and here you write if name equal to Ram, say print this is Ram, else this is not Ram. Okay. So, you can see this is a condition which is running this, and if I say this is a RAM and I say RAM 1, and it will say this is not RAM. So, this is flow control, if else. So, what is the good part of it is that for everything you can check for RAM, you can check for SYAM, you can check for anything. So, you will have to write so many if. So, I will say if it is RAM, or else if this name is SYAM, then it is this is SYAM, or else you can say print I don't know, like this. right. So, this is Ram 1 is does not belong here, does not belong here. So, it came here and I can change to check for this and it will check there and it will say it is a Syam. This was a if condition. So, if then condition, then else, and then again if condition and else. This is the case where you do not match with any condition. Now, what if I want to convert this as maybe like I have many cases like say hundreds of numbers or this thing, right, name, then this will be a tedious task to repeat this whole thing, right. Then we can use switch case, switch name, and in this we can write cases, case Ram, and we have to break. Every time we write a case, we will break it, and we can copy paste this whole thing. So, Ram, and this was Syam, and I don't know. Then if you don't know, then you can say default, okay, and I can write the same thing here. This is Ram, this is Syam, and this is default, means I don't know here. So, both conditions are almost same, but this is if else case, and this is switch. This switch give you more clarity if you are having too many inputs, and if you are having very few inputs, you can use with if. If I run it, both should give you the same output. See the same output from both the logic. In this, you have any doubt? Clear? Okay. So, whatever you are learning in this today's lecture, okay, this you will have to remember for your rest of the life till you code. And you use any programming language, syntax and these things are not going to change, or all this say switch case is remaining like this, if else will work like this, for loop will work like this. Okay. Now, one more important thing, that is like we call it as a scope. Okay. Scope. What is a scope? Very basic example. Say at home, your family calls you as a Chintu. Okay. So, your only family knows that you are Chintu. Your neighbors don't know you are Chintu. You got it? Similarly, here if I write say a string name equal to say Pradeep, this is a outside, and I print it here, print name. Now, I create simply empty braces, and in that I say string name 2 equal to say Kumar, and I can print name 2. Okay, or maybe like I can call it like Chintu. This is Chintu. Okay, then Chintu I can print it here, and I run it. So, what you see Pradeep and Chintu. Now, this is I can say as a house number 1. I create 2 more houses, house number 2, house number 3. Everybody is having their Chintu. Okay, you see 3 Chintu and 1 Pradeep. Now, when I come outside house and I say print Chintu, but my compiler says I don't know Chintu. Okay, undefined Chintu, they don't know Chintu. But what if I say I will rename this name to Pradeep. okay, and I say print Pradeep. So it knows Pradeep, but it don't know Chintu. Okay, it is not able to find it. Why it is not able to find it? Because they are inside their house. If you see these curly braces, it is like creating a separate house here, and we call that as a scope. If you are having a local scope, that you can use it till you are in this scope. As soon as you come out of this scope, you will not have that variable name available. For example, inside the main you are having Pradeep. As soon as you come out of this, you will not have access to that Pradeep. But if I define the same thing here like this, okay, then outside main also you will have access to this, that you will find out later on where to how to use this. But currently in for this example, you understand whatever you define between these two, this is the definition that you are defining, will remain till it is ending. So this is the scope. This is called local scope. This is called global scope. This is global. If you write before the main or outside the main, you can access this wherever in your application. But if you are defining within these curly braces, then you can access only within those curly braces. Any doubt in this? This is very important for you to understand. Okay. And this is the main reason when you are writing the code and you will say I have written the logic, but it is not working or compiler is giving error, because you don't know where you are defined and where you are using, because of scope. So now I told you how the flow control works. In that if else I explained you scope, I explained you switch. Now I have shown you the for loop. I will show you some other loop also. Okay. So what you have known for this, like for, and you can do int I equal to 0 to say 10 I plus plus, and you can say print I. Okay. This is for loop. What it does? It does what is important in this. So this first part is called initialization. You are initializing a value. Second part is the end condition. This is the end condition. Third part is the increment, or say what you want to do with these values. So this is the operation that you are doing it here. Now if I run it, it will print from 0 to 9. Here you see on the bottom. I can do it in multiple ways. So this was the first way. What I can do is that I can define this I outside also. I define this here and here, because I don't want to do any initialization, I can keep it here like this, and it's coming. This is the incremental part, this is the end condition. My code will still work. Okay, see. Now I will put it into a scope so that it doesn't impact anything else, and I will create another scope. Say int I equal to 0. I want to print value of I till it is less than 10. So how I can write? I can say do what you do, like print I, and after this what you need to do? I will say I equal to I plus 1, increment the I. How long I need to do this? I will say while I is less than 10. Okay. So, 0 to 9 will be getting printed from here. Here again 0 to 9, this will also print from here. We will see 2 times. This is 1 time, this is from second loop. Okay. So, this is another way of running a loop, and this one is do while loop. This one you already know what this is, for loop, right, for loop, do while loop, and there is a one more kind of loop, it is called only while loop. Depending on your application logic, you have to implement different kind of loop. So, I will say I equal to 0 while I is less than 10, do like print I, and then I equal to I plus 1. Now, you will ask me why I am writing like I plus 1, whereas I have written here I plus plus. So, I can also write here equal to I plus 1. Still my code will work same. So, this line can be changed with I plus plus. Okay. You got this? There is no difference in these two lines, this and this. If I run it, you will see the 3 time loop, 0 to 9, 0 to 9, and one more 0 to 9. So, you have 3 choice. Now, you can ask what is the benefit or what is the negative side of it. So, this is the simplest loop to know. So, in this you know end condition beforehand, if my I is going to be less than 10. In this also you know the beforehand, but you print it, then you check it. So, first you are executing this logic, then you are checking this condition. In while loop, first you are checking the condition, then doing your logic. That is the main difference. Rest it is a looping. Okay. Any doubt in this? By using this logics that explain I today to all of you, you can write any kind of program. That is what the basic Dart programming is, and now you should be able to write your own program using this understanding. Okay. Any doubt? Line for printing, this one. Okay. So, here explanation for that is that I will just clear this out. So, what is happening inside? So, if you are writing a print and say like this, okay. So, it is printing this. After that you say this is space here. So, it is printing one more line. If I want to do the same thing internally, what it will be doing? It will be doing std out dot write Pradeep, and at the end it will print slash r slash n. And why it will do like that? Now, you will see the same output. After this it is printing and then putting this. So, if I do like this, it means, and I do not put these 2 lines, then you will see this Pradeep, and then a new line that you can't see as a character. So, print is calling std out dot write, at the end I can say slash n also. Okay. Now, you see the difference. Here after doing a slash n, this character, this is a one character, it is called a special character of new line. When you say new line, it is a slash n, it is equivalent to your enter key. Whenever you press the enter key internally, it will print slash n, and why I had written /r, it is called carriage return. Carriage return means, say this is your screen. So, I am putting a on the screen I am putting printing this PRADEEP, and then I say new line. So, new line will be here. Okay. So, if I say another Pradeep, so it will come like this. If I am saying a carriage return like /r, what it will be doing, and this will be printing here. And from where this keyword is coming, carriage return, is that if you might have remembered the old typewriter, after entering at the end of the line, you will have to move the whole machine towards the left, so that you can start printing from the beginning. Understood? So, that is the difference between print and stdout.write. This is nothing but a wrapper on top of this. Okay. Yeah, I think you are got all the Dart now, and I hope you will write good programs. I will be sending you new assignment, and if you really want to learn it, want to go on the advanced level, you should complete the assignment, and then we can meet up again. And if you don't want to continue, that is also fine, and then I will understand you don't want to learn, right? Yeah. Yeah. Later on, what I am thinking is that we might go on the, say, because this is what in the Dart. From here, this is a basic thing that you need to understand before doing any app development. So, I have created the base for you. Now, my plan is that we will be jumping into the mobile app development from here, and we will be using this knowledge to create the mobile app. And while developing the mobile app, because there will be different business case scenarios, and where you may want to use this. For example, you want to create a scenario where you want to implement a queue. Queue is like whoever is coming first need to be served first, that is a queue. So, this is a data structure that is already available in the Dart. We will be using those kind of data structure. Then say you want to implement something like lookup table or say dictionary, say how many people are there with the name Pradeep, right? Or take an example like this. This is my string. In this string, how many characters have appeared how many times? For example, P has appeared 2 times. R has appeared 1 time. A has appeared 1 time. D 1 time. E 2 times. So, how do we store these information? Because you can't use normal variables to hold this, because you don't know what is coming into my string. So, you might need a map here, right? If I will say give a unique name, unique characters in my name, then what will you be using here is list, not list, set. By default, this is a kind of list, but if you want to find a unique characters in my name, then we can use set. I want to count the frequencies of each character, I may be using map, like that. And you know, in the computer world, if I want to define a color, I can define like red equal to 0xFF00FF, but this is not in a human readable format. So, what I can say, I have given a name red, right? But it is an integer. I can define it as a like enum, and in this I can define say red, orange or green, like this, and I can give them the enum as a colors, and I can use like this. And then whenever I want to use a red, I can simply say colors dot red, like that. So, that we will see in the practical use case. What today I have given you is the foundation of Dart, where you want to. So, when now if you see any Android code of Flutter, you at least you will know what is happening. if you understood these classes. Okay. Sounds good. Yeah. Hmm. So, this we can see like say string name equal to Pradeep. So, there are multiple ways to do this. I will be telling, say, if I say there is a method in this, say split, and in this I say empty this thing, and this will be splitting this, and what it will be returning is list. I can say cars, and if I say print cars, and I believe it will be giving me these characters separately. So, if we can see this, you see it got separate characters, right? And similarly, if I want to create a set out of it, and set of say this will be string only, a string, and I can say unique characters, unique equal to say maybe like simple like this, or maybe new set, and then I can say for and I equal to 0 to I is less than chars dot length I plus plus, and then I can add every character into unique dot add, and here from chars I will take each character and add it. Now I have added all the characters in my chars into unique set, and if I print here unique, okay, so it should print only the characters which are not repeating, or say which are having only one, like it will print the characters only one time. Okay, we will see this here. So, this is the first print, this one is this chars, no, this is not that one, this one is one, first one, this is second one, this print is this list print. Now, you are printing a set, this one, and this is here, you see it is printing only one character, right, first occurrence. So, that is how you can write your code. Correct. No, this whole thing we can write, say I can write something, say if I remove, okay. So, that I will cover like writing your custom methods. So, if I copy paste this from here and go outside, and I say I want to write my method and say give unique chars in string name, and I just put my this thing here, and from here I can say return unique like this, and this I have written as my own method, and this can return, I think it's not a string but say set, and I am not doing anything here, we will delete this. Correct. No, this split is inbuilt. So, if you want to say instead of split, you want to say my split, those are things called as a extension. that you can embed your own thing into the inbuilt thing. For string, say there may be some other to upper like this is will convert it to uppercase, but I want to convert it to camel case, right. Camel case will be like P like this is camel case. Okay. So, this is not inbuilt, but if I say uppercase, it will be like this, and what I am inputting is like this, right. So, there are three different variants. So, two variants are this was the actual input. This is already available by using a inbuilt method called dot uppercase to uppercase, and this is what you wanted to do as an extra that is not inbuilt. So, that is called extension. You can create your own extension. I will cover it later on case by case basis. Okay. Yeah. So, this is not the only way like to do the splitting. There are many other way. I can run over this name by using this also for each loop, right, like this, and then say I can call for each, and here maybe in ch, and what it will be doing is giving me each character at a time, like print ch, and what it will be printing is the ASCII value of each character, and like these are the ASCII values like 80114. If I want to convert it back to string, I can say string dot from char code like this. So, there are thousands way to do the same thing, but it all depends. See, it's gave me all the characters p to p, right, individually. I may not want to use the split, I may want to do with this, because if I am doing this like this and I do not need to run these loops. Okay. I can do simply like this, because my loop is already running. I can do here, and code will remain same, but this is how you do it, right. It all depend on that, and so my this code I do not need to do this, I do not need to do this, and simply this will return do the same job. Okay. So, and I can call this from here and say name, and I can pass this on everything onto the print. So, it all depends how do you write your own code, and result will remain same, right, and nobody can say this is right or this is the wrong. It all depends what style you like, and you can print the whole thing. I do whatever you want to do. Go. Like yeah, so this is inbuilt inside the string package. Like if you have this string, you can control click onto this, and this is a class that they have declared string, right. If you go inside this, you will find all kind of thing that you will need, like I use from char code, right. It can use from environment also. So, everything is here. You have to go through the document. The deeper you go, there is no limit. Okay, you can go and see how it is being developed at the like what you call bilkul low level. Low level means how it is getting converted to binary also you can go. So, Dart is there, Dart compiler is there, like the stream. At the end, if you are having a space, it will remove that space. If you are having a space on the left side, it will remove that also. So, everything is basically code. End of the day, you need to know how to get the things done. It is not necessary to know everything. You need to know what you required at that moment of time. That's how programming works, right. So, there are thousands of things that you may never know, because things in programming world, things keep on evolving. Every time new things will get released, new version will come, it will bring new methods. So, you want to keep updated yourself, you have to go through all the things. I am doing this coding since very long time, so based on that I know something and I have to keep on updated my knowledge, right. So here the split function that we had used, and you can search in this RUNES that I use. So this is what it does. Everything is available for you. You can go and see. I shown you this two lowercase, there will be two uppercase. So if you want to create your own thing, you can also do here. I may be covering this later on. So there are extensions or something like that that you might have to create, and then it will work as a normal function, as an inbuilt function basically. Got it? Yeah. So next step is that I will be sending you the assignment for maybe like 4 or 5 questions. If you have any question, you can ask me. Thank you for the people who have done the assignment. I have seen most of them have done correct. So there is nothing like correct assignment or wrong assignment. I just want you to practice everything. So you just do the practice and we'll see how you are moving. If you get stuck, let me know. And now you know the Dart language, so you can install locally your Visual Studio or Android Studio and then code it locally. Okay. So I hope you will all will be submitting this, right? What, nobody is interested kya? Are you guys sleeping now? No, right? Okay, chalo, see you later, bye.